Let's go back in time. About 8 years ago, I had started a daily practice of taking my dog for a walk. On this particular day, we're out on a hiking trail. When I reached an open area, I had this idea. What would happen if I took his leash off? His name's Duder, by the way. So I reach down and I take his leash off. Now, can you guess what he did? He took off running just as fast as he could go. He was this way. He was this way. He was all over the place. He was in a state of pure happiness. As I watched this scene, I was mesmerized. They say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, at the time of this hike, this old dog needed some new tricks. I had just turned 50 years old. I was overweight. I was very unhealthy. I was battling depression. I had very little hope. As I watched Duder running around free without his leash, it got me thinking, what were the leashes on me? What was holding me back? A couple weeks later, Duder and I are out on the trail. I reached down, take his leash off, let him run free, and I pondered that question. What were the leashes holding me back? My first realization is that they came from my childhood. What did my parents teach me? What did my parents not teach me? Sometimes it's the little things that parents can do or say that can have the biggest impact. Things like, you better not cry, I'll give you something to cry about. You better behave, I'm going to leave you here. Why can't you be more like your brother? I also realized that I probably did the same thing to my kids. And now my grandkids. What were the leashes that I was putting on them? Maybe that school teacher told me I wasn't creative enough to be in her class. Maybe that school bully that told me I was just a stupid little kid had a bigger impact on me than I thought. I started to take these leashes off. The possibilities became visible. It is why I'm able to stand here and talk with you today. Let me ask you, do you have dreams? Are they visible or are they buried deep in the recesses of your mind? What's holding you back? A couple weeks later, Duder and I are back out on the trail. I reach down, take his leash off, let him run free, and I pondered that question. What were the leashes holding me back? My second realization is they came from the world and the people around me. At the time, I was watching a lot of TV, scrolling through a lot of social media. All of this content was trying to tell me how to live my life. I was stuck comparing myself to everyone else. I started to take these leashes off. It is why I was able to publish my first book. I have a saying on my whiteboard, there is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside of you. What's holding you back? We all have a story. A couple months later, Duder and I are back out on the trail. I reach down, take his leash off. But this time, he did not take off running. He just stopped, and he looked back up at me. He said, come on, Dad. Come on, let's go. Let's do it. So I did. I started running with Duder. I ran for about 50 yards before I ran out of breath. But in that moment, I was free. It was glorious. Then it hit me. The third and biggest leash holding me back was me. It was me. I had lived my whole life inside my little comfort zone bubble. Everything I did not do was designed to keep me in the comfort zone. I needed to get uncomfortable. One of my favorite sayings, if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. I needed to challenge myself. I started to take these leashes off. It is why I went from being 70 pounds overweight to running 50-mile ultramarathons. Now, I'm not telling everyone to go out and run a 50-mile ultramarathon. In fact, I probably would not recommend it. My journey did not start with that first 50-yard run. It started the day when I'm sitting in the basement. I pick up the remote, I turn off that stupid TV, got my behind up off of the couch, and took Deuter for a walk. In many ways, that was just as challenging as a 50-mile ultramarathon. If you want something different, do something different. I encourage you to challenge yourself. Even the small things can have the biggest impact. Deuter's still with me, and to this day, we go out for a daily walk or a daily run. And just like Deuter, many of my leashes are gone. I have hope. I have dreams. I feel free. I believe that the greatest teacher is to be an example. I want my wife, I want my kids, I want my grandkids to see me taking my leashes off. I want to inspire others to take their leashes off, regardless of age or circumstance. So let me ask you, what are your leashes? What's holding you back? Think about them. Visualize them. Now reach up with me. Take your leashes off. Set yourself free.